Hello, 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 everyone. I hope everyone's doing okay. Today, I wanted to do sorry, this is gonna bug the crap out of me. Oops. Oh no. Oopsie. Damn it. Okay. Hang on, these headphones are gonna. 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. I strung them up through the ring light, so hopefully I can find a better position in which to keep my headphone string out of the way. There. Alright, I think I found a pretty good way, and so let's get going. Today I want to do a Grimoire tour. So this is my Grimoire right here. These two little leaflets are sections that have come out of the spine. So I plan on rebinding this book at some point, but I will cross that bridge when I get there because I've got a lot left in this book. So for now, it's just going to stay loose. I'm going to probably maybe make some sort of ribbon for it or a paper tie to kind of keep them together. But yeah, so this is my grimoire. This book has been with me for quite some time. It started as an art journal in 2020. I had bought the book and was planning on reading it. It's it was given to someone named Francis Menks, something like that, in 1972, but I believe the copyright of this book is like 1960 something. I don't know. So it's a vintage book, but I kept getting called to make it my grimoire, so I did. I figure it'll be put to better use. I can read it as I go along. I haven't been really, but I did mark off. So this is a combination of Dracula and Frankenstein. So I have Mary Shelley's Frankenstein marked off back here so that I can read it because I actually have never read Frankenstein before. And I have another copy of Dracula, so that was my justification. I say I already have a copy of Dracula, and I can always, I can always take out, since I'm planning on rebinding this book anyways, I can always take out Frankenstein and put it in its own book. That's something to consider. Sorry, these are just random thoughts on the fly. So yeah, like I said, it started off as an art book, and it's evolved slowly over time, clearly. This whole thing at one point, just the front was painted in a dark purple color, and it had just the star. I just recently kind of zhuzhed it up and painted it. I might change it, I don't know. I kind of like what's going on. I might Mod Podge it and add some stuff, but I'm not sure. In my opinion, everything is better when it's spelled in French. It just looks cool to me, and I resonate with it more than I do with like Latin or something. So yeah, this is my Grimoire Magique Artiste. Oops, I already screwed that up. Grimoire Magique Artistique. There we go. Goodness. Sorry, it's been a long time since I've pronounced any French, so please forgive me, people who speak French, if you are watching this. I'm really not trying to, I'm really not trying to butcher your language, I promise. Alright, so we're going to start with this little bit here because it is technically the first part of this book. Oops, I keep going the wrong way. I'm so sorry. Oof. So, enter if you dare. This is just the first page. I'm not going to show you everything. There are some relatively really personal parts in here, but I don't have any particular what's the word I'm looking for? Order. Like, I just go page by page. You'll see here later on in the book what I'm talking about. And I go back through and I look at each page every single time I go into this book just to see if there's something I want to add to any of the existing pages. This was, so these pages here, starting here, are when I used this book primarily as an art. It was just going to be its own specific art journal. It wasn't supposed to be a grimoire. I had never intended it to be. It was just an art journal. And it kind of evolved. So this was literally right before the pandemic started in March of 2020. I was still married at this point in time. I was still living at the other house at this time. This is one of my favorite songs by the All American Rejects, and for whatever reason, I saw a sunset in this dress, and I saw her as the actual sunset, so. And then a lot of these were done much later after the pandemic. January of 2021. I was living with my parents at that point. Okay. So here we start to get more into the magic stuff because I turned it into a grimoire, and I have so I ended up combining two books here. So these were already prepared on, oh gosh, oh, it wasn't quite dry, or yeah, oops, it wasn't quite dry. So I've got spells, full moon rites, affirmations. These are, I think, more affirmations that I wrote on an index card that I just painted. Some Lilith stuff. Let's skip this. Some inner child work. I see myself as Alice in Wonderland a lot when I'm doing inner child work. I mean, who really doesn't? My name is a spin of Alice, so it kind of is fitting. Some more spell work here. Ew, what in the hell? Why is this sticky? Oh, it's because I used rubber cement. Haha, oopsie. Yeah, so just trying different techniques. I use this as a playground for anything goes. It's mostly paint and magazine clippings, to be honest, though. Some lists. Nope. It's very hodgepodge. What's in here? It's a card to be worked on at a later time. Something I like to kind of work in bits on pages and like add, like start with the background, or you know, whatever. Start with some paint or some sort of gesso or watercolor paper or anything. You just start with something. I usually I usually go with paint, to be quite honest with you, because that's what I use the most and have most accessible to me. There's another Alice one. This was when I was living with my parents, and it was not a good mental health time for me. Let's just put it that way. This page has been in the works for a very long time. I don't know, I started by coloring this page with marker, and then I went over it with, or is that paint? Honestly, I can't tell anymore, I can't remember. But I started with, I believe that's paint, squished around, and then I added black and used a greeting card and kind of scraped it off, and then painted cupcake holders, the small ones. And it's going to be an astrology chart eventually, but for now it just kind of sits here and waits. This is the start of my fool's journey. You're going to be really upset with me because I have not been keeping up with this whatsoever. I mean, it's all marked out and ready to go, and eventually I will get back to it because, I mean, it's an ongoing project, you know. So this is 3. What in the heck? Oh, I think that's spray glue? I don't really know. See, another example of a page that was just started with a background, and I'm not really sure where oh, that's because, just kidding. Okay, so I'm on this is the High Priestess, this is, I think, the Emperor, yeah, whoops. But this is what I've been doing. So I've started with backgrounds, and I'm just working my way slowly through the backgrounds. The lovers, I have a little bit more self-love, ritual, rites, whatever. It's a card from an artist I follow. And now we're on to the honkin' book. So this is puffy paint on the front here. Gel pen, paint. We're starting on the chariot, as you can see. There's a background going on. Strength. Unfortunately, I had to stop with the double spreads for these two, just because of the way the book cracked. The Hermit. So we're just going to breeze through these here. You get the idea. I've started doing this for now, and just to kind of spark my interest if I ever go through and I see a piece of paper or something that would go with what I'm working on a specific page. So that's what I kind of like to do when I'm stuck or in a rut or bored, or I don't really know where to move forward as far as what needs to get worked on as far as like paintings and stuff. So I'll just come in here and either just paint freely or dibble dabble and or whatever. I've got my new moon rites and affirmations. This is the start of a spell that I have, or a ritual that I have in one of my books of mirrors. And a lot of the stuff in here is from Molly Roberts. I follow her on a few platforms, and I really support her work, so I do have a lot of... I primarily support her as far as, like, oops, sorry, you're not even in frame, wow. As far as art witches go that are independent and whatever, I only really follow Molly right now. There's a few others, but I can't remember names right now. Very bad at names. Okay, here's another spell. This is just a meditation page. Literally and figuratively. I also, like, I go on Amazon and get different papers, so like this came in a big pack of like vintage papers or something like that are this size, and I just doodled over top and added my own thing. This is me practicing a tutorial from Molly Roberts. Again, I take magazine images and I write all over them, I color on them, I draw on them, I add line work to them. This is a book. I actually was inspired by Molly Roberts to do a page like this. These are all cardboard cutouts, so these are all made from, I think, like, I don't know, just cardboard. I don't know where it came from exactly, but yeah, this is an ongoing page. Got some more here. And these are recent. I just did these today, actually. Just stuck some stuff in here, and it'll be a page someday. I've got things planned out. I know this is kind of a disappointing video, to be honest, now that I think about it, because I don't have as much, like, as far as finished pages go. I don't have that many in here, now that I really think about it. But, I don't know, I guess I just wanted to, I was compelled to kind of show you what I work on in here, how I kind of go about my process. This is another one of those tutorials from Molly Roberts. It's on her Patreon, I believe. There's another page. And yeah. And then when I get bored, some days I'll just go through and gesso a lot of pages in a row. So, like, I'll just take a, stack or so and just be like, okay, for the next few hours I'm off and on going to be gessoing these pages, and that's what I'm going to be doing. So yeah, I mean, I don't really have any plans when I go into these books. I don't have any, it's very intuitive. All of it is very intuitive. Actually, all of my art making is very intuitive now that I think about it. I don't plan much. I think a lot of that has to do with art school. And, I didn't go to like a traditional art school by any means. Mine was just a state university that happened to have an art program. So I took that, and, it turned into, like, I don't know, I hate sketching. I don't know if it's because it's just, like, to me it's just busy work. I know it's important to, like, build your skills and things like that, but I had no interest in working in realism, so for me it was, like, pointless. I can do it, and I have the capabilities to do realism. I just absolutely hate it. I don't really draw in realism much. but I do paint in realism, and I find that to be a lot more freeing because it's a little more intuitive. Even though I have like a thing I'm looking at, I don't know if that makes sense. I'm just rambling at this point. So yeah, that was one tour of one of my grimoires. This is my main working grimoire. I do take this one to the altar with me, so I'll lug, know that I have 3 different separate things, depending on what I'm planning on working on at the altar. I just don't ever really know. Again, I'm not a huge plan person, so I just kind of go to the altar when the fancy takes me anymore. I try not to force myself, just because I've been really going through a really heavy phase of burnout. I know I've expressed it a few times, but unfortunately it's still happening. I'm not really sure how to overcome it. I'm trying to give myself grace because I haven't wanted to do any real artwork it's going on close to a year now. It's been a long time. I finished my last painting I was already starting to fall into this burnout pretty heavily. In I would say mid-February or so. And it's just been a wild ride. Oh my goodness. So the animals are now playing, so I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching. If you've made it to the end, I appreciate you. And yeah, hopefully I can show you my other grimoires soon. Again, it probably won't be everything, but it'll be a good portion of them, and I hope this was somewhat interesting for you. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.